Oblation Run!
Fighting Maroots,
Isaw!
Sunken Garden,
Lantern Parade!
Uta,
Puso!
UP.
Pasok ka rito!
Tara sa kwentuhang may uta.
Kwentuhang may puso.
UP Atin to.
Magandang araw mga kasali, samahan kami sa isang makabuluhang usapan ukol sa buhay estudyante, lalong-lalo na ang iba't ibang kwento na nagpapaigting ng ating utak at puso, dito lang sa UP Atin to. Ako po si Cheska Escalada, ang inyong makakasama sa araw na ito. Sabayan po tayong napakinggan sa DZUP 1602 kHz sa inyong mga radyo at sa dzup.org habang napapanood naman po kami sa Facebook page at YouTube channel ng DZUP. Kaya naman lahat ay kasali at pwedeng sumali sa ating diskusyong pinamagatang Hayahay o Hays, Buhay Orgles sa Kolehiyo. Ang dami talagang orgs dito sa UP mga kasali at super saya lang kasi nabibigyan ng space ang lahat ng interests at advocacies. Dito nahahanap ng mga estudyante ang sense of belongingness, kumbaga nahasa ang kanilang mga skills at nakabubuo ng mga koneksyon hindi lamang sa kanilang mga kakurso, ngunit sa iba't ibang estudyante din sa loob ng paaralan. Pero sa org nga lang ba talaga nangyayari ang mga ganitong klaseng bagay? Paano naman yung mga walang org? Dito sa DZUP 1602 kasali ka? Lahat ng kwento ay mahalaga. Kaya ngayong araw, isa-spotlight natin ang mga orgless na estudyante. Pero bago natin ipakilala ang dalawa nating guests ngayong araw, sali po kayo sa ating episode sa pamamagitan ng pagsagot sa ating Share Mo Yan Question of the Day. Meron ka bang org? Bakit o bakit hindi ka sumali ng org? O 'di ba, napakasimple lang naman ng questions, kaya sumagot na kayo dyan sa comment section. Huwag na nating patagalin pa at ipakilala na natin ang ating mga bisita ngayong araw. Simulan na muna natin kay Danny Soriano, isang incoming 4th year student ng BA Philosophy from the College of Social Sciences and Philosophy. Mag-hi ka naman sa ating mga kasali, Danny.
Hello everyone. Hi.
Susunod naman ay isang graduate of Communication Research from the UP College of Mass Communication and is currently a master's student of Philippine Studies, major in Society and Culture at the UP Asian Center. They are now a full-time instructor in the Department of Communication Research, where they have worked as a full-time researcher since 2018. Throughout the past 6 years, they have worked in the department's academic program improvement projects and other commissioned research projects under the leadership of the Commerce faculty. Their research interests include communication as culture, Filipino communicative experiences, and intercultural communication. Welcome to the program, Mix Shiner Panot. Batiin po natin ang mga tagapakinig at tagapanood.
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Ako si Shine.
Ayan, so welcome to the program, Danny and Shine. Kamusta naman kayo today?
Okay naman. Medyo puyat, pero okay rin lang.
Ikaw, Danny, kamusta ka naman?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
So, exciting talaga ang episode natin today kasi bibigyan pansin natin ng isang demographic or community of students sa UP na hindi kadalasang pinag-uusapan, no? Ang mga estudyanteng orgless. So, Danny at Shine, tama ba yung nalaman namin na pareho kayong walang org sa UP?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So, it's interesting, no? Kasi kadalasan talaga nating naririnig stories of students that when they enter UP, they're like, oh my God, wala akong ibang iniisip kundi sumali ng org. So,
True.
gusto lang naman namin siguro i-start yung discussion with a very simple question. Bakit niyo pinili na hindi magka-org? So, simulan natin kay Danny.
I didn't join an org because there's a lot of responsibilities in the house, sa bahay ko, and I can't add another responsibility. And so, basically, I have a dog. I do my own laundry. I cook my own food. I do everything by myself. So that's why I can't join any orgs. And plus, there are other works pa. So
True naman. Yeah. It's really difficult, lalo na being in an org is actually a big responsibility. You have to attend not only to yourself, but syempre to the whole org. Tas lalo na pag super laki ng org nyo, di ba? Ikaw naman po, Shine.
Well, I tried. So there's that.
Pwede natin pag-usapan yun.
Oo, I tried joining an org. First year, first sem pa
Oh
lang.
my God, me also.
But meron akong mga hindi magandang karanasan sa application process na yun at sa exposure ko din sa mga peers ko na nag-try mag-apply sa orgs. So, because of that, hindi na ako ulit nag-attempt sumali. Although, I was in the FST Council and I was also volunteer at the Office of the Student Regent. Pero, orgs, wala talaga.
Yan. Interesting yung nabanggit niyo tungkol sa process. So, possible na pag-usapan natin yan mamaya. So, I want to ask Danny specifically, super big deal ng org culture in UP. It's like the second question the people you meet ask you, like, oh, anong program mo? Are you in any orgs? Parang ganun kadalasan yung flow of questioning dito, di ba? Naisip mo ba ever sumali ng mga orgs dito sa UP? Like, for example, your home org or in CSSP? Or was it really not, kumbaga, in the books for you?
I mean, I tried joining Capitas and UP flag football. But honestly, I can't really, have that much responsibility.
Right.
And, going home every day, it's really tiring. And syempre, I commute to Novaliches. 1 hour, 1 hour 30. So, especially what more kung sobrang traffic pa, di ba?
Totoo.
So, yun, I can't do anything about it.
This is a question for the both of you, since you both mentioned like the app process, and yun nga, we're constantly surrounded by people that are really love their orgs. Do you hear any stories about orgs or org culture and app processes in UP, and how does that affect not necessarily your perspective about orgs, but just somehow your ability to perceive being part of the UP community? We can start with you po.
Sige, I think Danny and I are from different generations of students. So, hindi ko alam paano na siya nagbago. But at least during my time kasi, meron akong isang particular experience apart from my own, no? Kasi nga volunteer ako ng student regent. Yung office ng student regent nun, nasa likod ng Vinsons. Tapos, meron akong naabutan, ba't ko pala sinabi yung Vinsons? But anyway, meron ako naabutang nagpa-final interview dun sa may parting yon ng building. At sinisigawan nila yung applicant. So, I think na may mga na-cover din naman yung collegian na mga ganitong kwento, no? Pero yun talaga yung tumatak sa akin na parang pare-pareho tayong estudyante dito at hindi ako pumasok ng universidad para magpa-ape. Yeah. So, bakit may ganitong pagtrato, no, sa mga mula sa mga kapwa ko estudyante. So, parang medyo na-turn off ako sa part na yon. At isa pa, parang yung argument na, the real world will not be good to you, parang ganun. Tapos parang, I don't think that's an excuse, because if the world is not kind, then I think we should make it kind. Ewan ko, that's just me. Pero yon, medyo konting turn off sa proseso.
I really like that anecdote you gave at the end. Just because the world is kind doesn't mean that we have to be unkind also. Diba? Kailangan naman, may choice naman tayo, mas pabaitin yung mundo. Hindi naman natin kailangan
sumali.
Alam sa mga tao na hindi mabait ang mundo. Diba? So, reeling into that, how was both of your experiences applying for an org? You just share what you want to share, hindi naman kami magpa-pride.
Curious ako sa ngayon na experience. So, I'm looking at Danny.
Okay, so it's fun. It's fun, but
good.
Like I said, yung responsibility nga as a student for sa UP Diliman, I got tired easily talaga, and hindi ko kaya talaga mag-org.
But is it still like the usual sig sheets?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fun. And then tambay hours.
Tambay hours.
That's fun. Fun talaga yun. Fun talaga yun.
Tapos may by picture pa. And then post
Post mo sa Facebook.
Yeah.
Tapos itatag mo pa.
May ganon.
May ganon na
Like ganun, yeah.
Dati it was just like literally a notebook. And then may mga, alam niyo naman na sa mga orgs, diba, may mga memes na parang terror memes. So yung pirma nila ay medyo mahalaga or like special. So may mga bagay kang kailangan extra na gawin, ganyan. So may mga ganun. So may mga memes na parang medyo matatakot ka i-approach sila at first.
That's true actually.
Yeah.
Lalo na I think for orgs that are I think a bigger deal, lalo
Yes,
na in the
totoo
university, they're a little more picky with their you know, who they want to accept into the org. So syempre, not only I think is it physically challenging, it can also be quite mentally taxing at times since it does require a lot of your responsibilities ngayon. Sabi nga ng mga iba kong kakilala, parang extra 3 units daw talaga pag nag-org, lalo na pag nag-a-apply. So, bilang isang orgless, kumbaga, dito in UP, how does your day-to-day life look like compared to someone with an org that for sure after class sabihin nila, ay, di ako pwede lumabas, may meeting kami, di ako pwede sumama tonight, may ganon. So, how does your usual day-to-day look like? Let's start with Danny na lang.
Okay, so it depends on my schedule. So if I don't have classes sa morning, what I do is I practice basketball because you know, during pandemic nga, it's been a routine of mine. And then after that I go to class, and then sometimes I study already. Then yun, I go back home na. Ganun lang ako. And then, depends if my parents or my tita or my grandfather has something to, you know, buy sa labas. Ganun. And that's basically it. That's how my day goes talaga sa Dorclas.
Ako, nung first year, kasi dormer ako. So, it was class, dorm, and then every week, ako daw yung dormer na hindi totoong dormer kasi nakakauwi ako sa Bulacan every weekend. So, ganon. Pero, after that, I forgone my, tawag dito, my slot sa dorm and naging commuter na rin ako.
From
Bulacan? From Bulacan. Every day
That's
as a
crazy.
student. So, parang, wala rin akong time, guys, kasi ang tagal mag-commute. Parang 1 hour 30 din yung biyahe. So, hindi na rin ako makagala sa gabi, ganyan. Hindi na rin kasi safe lumabas ng ganun kagabi. So, it's really just school and bahay. Minsan, whatever I can, you know, go to along the way, siguro sa mall or whatever. Pero, hindi talaga ako mag-gimmick na tao.
Out of curiosity, were your friends in university, like, lahat sila may org or lahat kayo walang org?
As for me, I think most of my friends really had orgs. At least 2.
Wow.
Kaya somehow I felt, in that regard, parang I felt out of place. Kasi lahat sila merong something after class, merong something, you know, at the end of the day. Ako, uwi na lang ako.
How about you, Danny?
Yes, same din. Most of my friends have. But, you know, I have one friend, orgless din siya. Yun, sama-sama kami. Ganun.
Yeah.
Labas sa UP Town Center. Ganun. And then, sometimes we do work together. So, ganun lang.
Gets ko kayo kasi my first year, I kept on applying. Like, I applied first year, first sem. Like, every sem so far, I feel like I've applied to an org. And then I just keep like, I can't commit. So, like,
Parang
usually,
no.
yeah, parang no pala. So, usually ako yung friend na like, kain tayo dinner, labas tayo, like, anong ginagawa mo? Tapos, oh my God, lahat sila busy. So, it's like, okay. Tapos, syempre, pag nagkukwentuhan sila, like, hindi mo naman lagi magigets yung mga bagay-bagay.
Totoo,
And syempre, there are like confidentiality clauses pa na pag may mga nangyayari sa org, hindi mo naman nila pwede lang i-share kasi, you know, you're not from the org. So, medyo nakaka-FOMO nga yung mga ganong bagay, no? So, experience-wise naman also, we also differ, kumbaga, in that. So, how would you guys kind of, you know, experiences nyo from them within the context of like university?
I think I would just live vicariously through their experiences.
True.
Parang, like, my friend ako na nasa performing org. And so, like, pinapanood ko siya. So, yung mga ganong bagay, I think, parang helpful naman siya in a way. Kasi ganun din, hindi, parang si Danny, meron din akong mga, yung stress threshold ko, parang hanggang doon lang siya. I guess it's just me as a person. So
Yeah.
parang kung ACADS pa lang at yung everyday commute, sobrang nasa-stress
Yeah.
na ako. What more kung may org pa ako? So
Exactly.
I think
True.
understanding myself and my needs, feeling ko it was just right for me to not have an org.
So it's super interesting to know that there, every single person's opinion regarding orgs and org culture in UP Diliman is really nuanced and
Yeah.
subjective. But if you were to join an org like at this day and age, kumbaga, or even then when you were still thinking of joining orgs, what are the qualities, initiatives, and values that an org should have para maisipan yung salihan to? You can keep it super short, like even a couple of words.
I think an org should be caring. I think
True.
an org should look after the welfare of their members. Yun siguro sa akin.
I think I could agree with this with Miss Shine also. And I want kasi daming ginagawa talaga kapag orgs
Yeah.
talaga. So gusto ko din pretty chill lang, and then yeah, I think that's basically it talaga. So
So, kaya naman, welcome sa ating game segment na Let's Org or Org No. So, binigyan namin kayo ng mga placards, and for that, we will give you guys sample organizations. Tapos, itataas nyo lang ang Let's Org
Okay.
kung interested kayo sa lihan to, at Org No, yan. Org No, kung hindi naman. So,
Okay.
ready na ba?
Ready?
Okay, so ang ating unang org ay UP Coffee Addicts Community
coffee.
or samahan ng mga mahilig magkape, at isa sa main activities nila ay mag-coffee shop hopping. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay,
Org no.
bakit org no?
Hindi ako
Shine.
nagkakape. Yun lang yun.
Okay. Ikaw, Danny.
Same. I don't drink
Okay.
coffee. I don't drink coffee.
Tama naman. Bakit ka sasali kung di ka naman nagkakape?
Totoo naman.
Next org, UP Campus Car Lovers. Samahan ng mga mahihilig sa kotse at hobby ang pag-aalaga nito, at pag-usapan ang lahat ng bagay tungkol dito. 3, 2, 1, go!
Org no.
Okay, different kayo. So let's start with Danny.
I love cars.
Ah.
I have my own car sa Baguio.
Ah.
So I drive it around. And if I'll join this org, I know for a fact na daming kwento yan. Daming kwento talaga yan.
Ikaw naman.
I also drive, but I'm not an enthusiast in any way. So I'm like, anong gusto mong car? Yung yellow.
Yung
Ganon
cute,
lang
yung
siya.
cute lang.
Ganon. So, I'm not very fond of cars
Yeah.
as much as other people.
Okay, lastly naman ay ang UP Dorsoc or UP Dormer Society. Samahan ng mga nakadorm sa loob at labas ng campus. 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, magkaiba na naman. So let's start with Mikshine.
I think, yes, although I have an opinion about this later, pero a dorm is really a community. And I think kung magkakaroon ng org, ang mga dormer, apart from their actual dorm, like for example, Kalay, I think it would be fun to just interact with one another.
True. How about you, Danny?
I never have experience with dorm, so I couldn't really
Yeah.
relate talaga. So
That's okay.
Yeah. So, thank you so much for joining our super short game segment, Danny at Shine. So, I think from this short activity, makikita talaga natin that the orgs you choose should really resonate with you.
Yes.
Kumbaga, hindi mo dapat baguhin yung sarili mo para lang sumali sa isang
Totoo.
org, kasi ito yung org na sinasalihan ng lahat ng tao, no? Dapat yung pagsali sa org, it corresponds to your interests and especially your values and
Yes.
what you want to gain from that experience, no? Sa ating pagbabalik ay mas palalalimin pa natin ang diskusyon sa buhay orgles at kung nakaaapekto nga ba ito sa karanasan ng mga estudyante. Huwag po kayong umalis at palitan ang pinakikinggan dahil magbabalik pa ang kwentuhang may utak at kwentuhang may puso. UP, atin to!
Halika na't makinig sa DZUP 60 Tayo na't makinig sa DZUP 60 Ikaw ako tayo sa DZUP
Maraming sintomas ang depresyon.
Ma, wala akong ganang kumain.
Pa, may insomnia yata ako.
Ayokong bumangon, ayokong pumasok, ayoko nang mabuhay. Mahigit 4 na milyong Pilipino ang may depresyon, ngunit isa lamang sa bawat 3 ang humihingi ng tulong. Huwag mahiyang kumonsulta sa eksperto. Tumawag sa 804-HOPE para sa libreng serbisyo. Isang mensahe mula sa DZUP 1602. Kasali ka.
Pasok ka rito.
Tara sa kwentuhang may utak.
Kwentuhang may puso.
UP Atin to.
Ayan, nagbabalik po muli ang ating programa, UP Atin to. Kung kanina ay narinig na natin ang mga saloobin ng ating mga guests tungkol sa pagsali ng mga orgs, alamin naman natin ngayon kung ano nga ba ang naging mga epekto sa kanila ng hindi pagsali sa mga orgs dito sa ating susunod na segment na tatawagin nating #DeepTalks. So, I want to ask Danny specifically, what were your qualms or ano yung mga pangamba mo sa hindi pagsali sa orgs dito sa UP?
For me, the most important thing, joining orgs is yung connections. That's very important. And when you get out of, when you finish here sa UP Diliman, you need those types of connections. And when you're when you're in the org, you want to get the experiences of the alumni of
True.
the orgs, so that you can know what's the outside world and anong gagawin mo as a person.
Yeah. So, what do you think? Kasi, I hear from a lot of people I know, kaya sila sumasali ng orgs kasi maganda daw sa resume, yung work and
Pagdagdag
experience,
sa CV.
diba?
Yeah.
Yung pag nagsi-CV, oh my God, internship term kasi namin. So, syempre, silip-silip ako sa CV ng mga friends ko for like, blah, 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 org. I was like, oh my God.
Ang dami.
Ate,
Ako
calm
medyo
down.
manipis.
Relax lang, ganon, di ba? So, as, someone na hindi nga sumali sa orgs, do you think it somehow affects you mentally pag kunyari gumagawa ka na ng resume and CV mo, tapos pag nag-a-apply ka sa work or sa internships?
No, doesn't affect me because I joined because outside UP I joined outreaches. I helped the community. I helped the elderly also. So I have ECA, like extracurricular activities outside UP. So I really don't mind, and masaya naman ako na ganun lang yung ginagawa ko. So
Love.
How about you po?
Ako, honestly, medyo nasa academe talaga yung aking track. So, I didn't have to go through applying through many jobs and then having to prepare my CV. So, my credentials were mostly academic, like conferences, joining conferences, doing research, ganyan. But it does, may FOMO talaga. Ang mga na parang wala akong nilalagay na organization or wala akong maraming internship. Pero I think okay lang siya kasi for as long as, it didn't stop me also from doing things that were aligned with my principles. Like, just because I was orgless didn't mean I didn't join protests, or I still visited the Bakwit school, or I still marched against the Marcos burial. So parang it didn't stop me from joining causes that mattered to me.
That's true actually. And for me, I just wanted to share. I have orgs pero hindi din kasi ako masyadong active sa kanila, and I'm actually grateful to say na they also weren't so demanding of my time, or I never positioned myself to be, to allow them kumbaga to demand all of my time. And I agree also with Danny na parang since I had more time to myself, I was able to join a lot of outside initiatives. Like nakapag-internship ako sa iba't ibang companies on my own time, just because I wanted to, and I knew that I didn't really have, parang wala akong iisipin pag uwi ko after UP, ganon. Pero syempre even within school or within the classroom, when you meet new people and you get to talking na say na, oh, I actually helped with UP Fair, mga
Yeah.
ganon. Kasi may mga orgs na involved sa mga ganong
Yeah.
bagay. Nararamdaman niyo ba na parang kulang yung experiences niyo in college because you weren't involved in the making of those things that everyone says na you have to experience this kasi hindi kompleto yung college experience mo pag di mo to ginawa. Mga
Well,
ganon.
na-experience ko naman yung UP Fair. Umattend ako.
Ako din.
Pumunta ako. Nanood ako, guys. So, fun na yun for me. Pero I think it does affect you in a more relational kind of sense. I think for me, nung graduate ako, I did feel the getting left out part. Kasi you see people developing groups, having constants, being involved in like cliques and stuff. So parang sila yung laging magkakasama. And ako, wala akong laging kasama. I would be in different groups of people. And I would really feel bad about it. Parang, kumbaga, growing up in the university. Pero after that, nag-open up ako dun sa isa kong batchmate. Tapos parang sabi niya, actually, Shine, that's your strength. The fact that you're able to join different groups and jive with them is actually a good life skill. Kasi hindi ibig sabihin na wala kang org, ay wala kang community.
True.
So the
I
fact
love
that, so parang you have to find your tribe, and your tribe will not always be an organization. It could be different groups of people, your batchmates, your classmates, dorm mates, even your GE classmates would be fun to bond with.
So, now that, you're way past the org culture in UP Diliman, Shine, do you have any advice, kumbaga, kay Danny on how he can navigate, it's still intimidating to enter the workplace when you don't have, kumbaga, an alumni network from your org, lalo na in the industry that you want to be part of. Do you have any pieces of advice for him and how he can navigate that big, scary world, kumbaga?
Okay, the world should not be as scary, I think. So, it's going to be intimidating for sure. But I think the advice I can give is always position yourself as someone who's willing to learn. Because I think companies value that so much. Kasi sometimes, may mga tao na dahil ang dami nilang experience as a student and as someone na maraming organizations, they can have a bit of air in them na parang, alam ko na to, na-experience ko na to, ganyan. I think companies also value someone who's just a blank slate and someone who's willing to learn.
Yeah.
So I think harness that as part of your strengths na, okay, wala pa akong ganitong experience, but I want to experience it with you. So, yung mga ganong positioning pag nag-a-apply ka ng trabaho, ganyan. And also, yun nga, I think, nabanggit mo rin kanina na you have a world outside of UP.
Yes.
Diba?
I
You
do.
have
I
a
do.
lot of activities outside of the university. And I think that's a part of your strength as well, na I'm part of community outreach, I'm part of volunteer work.
Yeah.
And so, that also would give potential employers an idea of your work ethic. So I think that's one thing to gauge as well when you're an orgless person. Hindi naman siya ganun, hindi siya weakness, kumbaga.
And I also think it allows us to have more time to explore more opportunities outside of UP. Kumbaga nung second year ako na super sad ko kasi wala akong parang parang everyone says this org is my home, mga ganun yung mga chinichika nila. Tapos ako parang, wala akong home. Mga ganun, diba? Pero, I was just, I don't know, parang sinapsychologize ko na sarili ko na, no, like, mas gugustuhin nila yung may experience sa mga internship sa mga companies talaga. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but there's also so much merit, I think, in exploring that part of the world because you really get to interact not only with people from UP but literally people older than you and with other
from different
cultures.
backgrounds.
So, di porket wala kang org sa UP, wala ka nang alam sa mundo.
Totoo naman.
Yeah. Malay mo nag-aano ka lang. Intern ka lang dyan sa tabi-tabi. So,
totoo yan.
So, the discourse so far, honestly, has been very insightful. And I do have like 2 orgs with me pero hindi ako nga super active sa kanila. So it actually is helping me a lot listening to the both of you. Like, share your experiences on how it is to be orgless. Lalo na po kayo, like, make sure na, you're already a very, very successful person in the academe. Tapos,
Not sure about very, but thanks.
yan. So, dahil muna dyan, kalimutan muna natin yung mga negative emo vibes na yan. At pag-usapan muna natin ang mga advantages, kumbaga, ng pagiging orgless dito sa ating bagong segment, Orgless, Less Stress. So, simulan natin ang pag-share ng experiences kay Danny. Totoo ba na less stress ang life dahil wala kang org?
Yes. I have more time for myself, mentally and physically. So, I could do things by myself, completely by myself.
Ikaw naman po, shy nung student ka.
Totoo din. So parang iniisip ko, yun, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, parang ACADS pa lang, readings at papers pa lang, hirap na ako. So parang what if sumali ako sa org tapos naging freeloader lang ako doon, or parang sumali ako sa org tapos na-compromise yung academics ko. Parang for me kasi, my education is part of like my personal philosophy na parang my education is my activism. And so, I want to value my academics as much as other things in my life. So, yes, hindi ako masyadong stressed. Mas nakaka-stress ang transportation system sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
True. Oh my
Kaya,
God, yes.
kaya naman, okay lang ang buhay kahit walang org. Things can work in different ways. Napakaraming avenue sa university para magsaya. May sine-adar na, manood ka ng pelikula. May dula ang UP, manood ka ng mga production. At kung gusto mo ng kasama, ay ayun nga, mag-aya ka ng mga kaibigan mo, mag-aya ka ng mga kaklase mo, kakilala mo. Kasi hindi lang org ang magiging community mo sa loob ng universidad.
True. Very true. So, pagsali sa org, hindi lang naman yan parang gawa ng activities for the org. There's also a lot of drama
True.
involved, di ba?
See.
Ang daming nakakancel ng mga org dyan sa tabi-tabi kasi kung ano-ano daw yung ginagawa nila. So, pagdating naman kumbaga sa mental health and like, your relationship with your peers, me time, breaks, yourself, paano nagiging advantage ang pagiging orgless?
I think for me, unahan na kita, Danny, ha?
Okay.
Dahil, isa sa mga major considerations ko when I went to college was, una, I was going to be deliberately introverted. Kasi ayokong, kumbaga, mahatak or makuha ng iba't ibang, parang activities that I don't really want. I don't want to be involved in them. Pangalawa, ayokong lamunin ng mga prinsipyong hindi akin. So, the fact na orgless ako, I could stand up for myself and I knew that my opinions were just all my own. So, hindi ko kailangan, walang tension sa aking sarili kapag na halimbawa may orgs na yun nga naka-cancel or nai-involve sa mga issue, hindi ko kailangan mag-resolve ng tension na, oh my gosh, hindi na sila aligned sa principles ko or whatever. So, hindi ko na kailangang isipin yun. At isa pa, hindi rin ako masyadong stressed about, di ba, parang, hala, na-cancel yung org ko, do I leave it? Di ba? Parang, ano nagagawin natin? So, parang, hindi ko kailangan ma-involve sa mga tao na ayoko namang ma-involve talaga.
How about you, Danny?
So, honestly kasi, I enjoy my time being alone. When I'm in an org kasi, when I'm with a lot of group of people, I tend to, stay at the corner. Because, that's my attitude talaga, na ganun. And yun nga, like what Miss Shine said, yun, your own values, your own principles matters talaga.
Yeah.
Kasi if you're gonna join an org, yun nga, you have to parang match their principles in that way. So,
it's interesting also like to be in an org. You're kind of forced to be with people a lot of the time. So what if what if someone wronged you, tas
kailangan makita mo siya araw-araw.
Kailangan mong makisama.
Totoo
Pero may
yan.
mga bagay naman na hindi deserve ng ating pakikisama, I think.
Totoo.
There are certain issues.
Can I say something though? Parang, yung naging experience ko din, I just want to clarify. I mentioned something earlier about like org culture and how it can be toxic and things like that. I think people really are just products of their time. Kasi, or products of their generation, products of the culture they were raised in. Because outside of that, I feel like it's somehow a role-playing kind of thing. Di ba na parang minsan kailangan sungitan ka ng mga memes para makuha mo yung signature nila. Outside of that, they're actually really good people.
Yeah.
So I think meron lang...
They're playing a part.
Oo, they're playing a role, they're playing a part in something, and I feel like as long as the culture is on its way to a better kind of change or a good kind of change, I think it's fine. I don't take it against those people na, si ganito, sungit nito, ganyan. Parang, feeling ko talaga, it was just all part of the culture they were raised in. And I think nagkaroon naman na ng interventions to change that culture, and that's what I'm happy to see actually in this generation of students.
So there's really a lot of room for improvement for these orgs. And as someone orgless, there's a lot of room for yourself and how you can focus on yourself more and your passions. So, meron po ba kayong mga side hustles or mga passion projects na nagawa nyo dahil may oras kayo, like, to do those things? And do you mind sharing them?
I'm curious about Danny's Okay. Okay, sure. When I was in my junior and senior year, rumaraket ako as a tutor. Wow. So, natry ko na mag-tutor ng like junior high school, and then nung fourth year ako, nag-tutor ako ng exchange student. So, I would tutor them in English and for some reason Spanish. But, ayun, that was also, nag-iipon kasi ako nun for my thesis, yung mga gastos ng paggawa ng thesis. So, yun din yung isang naging extra income ko on the side. So, yun yung, and then I had a lot of extra time just really reading my readings kasi ang daming readings pa ng social sciences. So, ayun, that's my side hustle for the most part.
For me naman, I helped my tita clean yung apartment niya. Yung mga apartments kasi nag-rent siya. So yun, I helped clean, and then binabayaran ako. Ganun. So, okay siya. Di ba?
May pang milk tea ka.
Anyway, and then during that, I practice, basketball. I join basketball leagues during my pastime. Yun, that's what I'm saving up for also, yung basketball. And then yun, during the weekends, kasi taga Baguio ako. So, I go to Baguio. But not every week naman. Kasi mahal naman. So, yun lang. Yan yung ginagawa ko.
So, there's obviously a lot of room to discover yourself, your interests, and kind of what you want to do, kumbaga, when you have no org.
True.
Diba? Yeah. So, ano po yung mga bagay sa tingin nyo na nagagawa ninyo na hindi nagagawa ng mga may org dito sa UP? Like, in terms of, your time and your socialization and things like that.
Natutulog ako, guys. Meron ako 6 hours of sleep a day. Charot. And then, I think, I just have extra time to rest. And I'm not that pressured as much as other people are. And ako naman kasi, ang hobbies ko naman ay music. And so, I would have time to like make music and like write my own music. And which is something that you can do within like a community or an organization. Pero ayun nga, just more time for myself, my family, and my friends outside of UP, because the world is so much bigger.
Yeah, that's true. So for me, ano to? Yun, I sleep talaga.
Diba?
Kasi,
sleep talaga eh.
Kasi yun nga, depende kasi sa schedule, di ba? Dito kasi sa UP, you have to get your own subjects, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, yun nga, minsan I have 6 hours yung time, yung vacancy. Yun, umuwi ako. And then work, tapos na yan, 1 oras na yan, tapos na yan. Tulog, 2 hours of sleep, goods na yun, di ba? Parang, ganun lang.
Power nap.
Power nap, yeah.
So, there really are a lot of perspectives when we come to this conversation. And sa ganitong usapan kasi, kanya-kanya nga rin tayo ng hinahanap at kinakailangan sa ating college life. Some people seek communities within UP. Some do better without them, kumbaga, 'di ba? Depende lang 'yan sa trip natin sa buhay. Kaya't sa pagbabalik natin, pakinggan naman natin ang pulso ng ating komunidad. Ano nga ba ang tingin nila sa Buhay Orgless? Muli, para sa ating Share Mo Yarn question of the day, meron ka bang org? Bakit o bakit hindi ka sumali ng org? Ayan, kaya huwag muna kayong aalis o magpalit ng pinakikinggan dahil magbabalik pa ang Kwentuhang May Utak at Kwentuhang May Puso. UP, atin to.
Halika na't makinig sa DZUP 6002. Tayo na't makinig sa DZUP 6002. Ikaw ako, tayo sa DZUP 6002. Kasali ka.
Ang mental health ay hindi na issue na tago, ngunit patuloy na minamaliit at paulit-ulit na binabaliwala ito kumpara sa mga pisikal na kapansanan. Maging maalam, kung meron kayong mga kaibigan na nagpapakita ng mga sintomas ng mental health illness, katulad ng di karaniwan na pagbaksak ng punsyon sa eskwelahan, sa trabaho, sa social activities o sa sports, lapitan sila. Sabihan sila na hindi kahihiyan ang paghingi ng tulong. Break the cycle. Isang paalala mula sa DZUP 1602, kasali ka.
Pasok ka rito.
Tara sa Kwentuhang May Utak.
Kwentuhang May Puso.
UP Atin to.
Welcome back sa UP Atin to, mga kasali. Ngayong narinig na natin ang makabuluhang diskurso galing sa ating guests, pakinggan din natin ang pulso ng iba pa sa UP community ukol sa mga orgs at org culture ng UP Diliman at sa kanilang sariling karanasan dito. Kaya ano pa ba ihinihintay natin? I-share mo na yan!
Share mo yarn.
Ika nga ni Shakespeare Opa, to org or not to org, that is the question. Isang malaking parte ng buhay estudyante sa UPD ang pagsali sa mga iba't ibang organisasyon. Siguradong maraming perspektibo ang mga estudyante tungkol dito at kung talaga nga bang nakakatulong sila sa buhay nila sa loob at labas ng paaralan. Kaya tara at alamin natin ang pulso ng UP community dito lang sa Share Mo Yan. Bakit mo naisipang sumali sa mga org? Anong hindi alam ng mga estudyanteng walang orgs tungkol sa mga orgs dito sa UP?
Sumali ako sa mga orgs kasi, well, when you're in university, you as a person will have various interests, various hobbies, and various parts of yourself that you want to share with other people na hindi naman ma-encompass ng course mo lang. And finding ways to channel that part of you towards other people, I think is a very, very important experience to have, especially when these are your more formative years growing up. And I cannot discount the contribution of being part of an organization has given to my personhood.
Siguro for me, what made me join the respective orgs that I have right now is to gain more experience outside of the academic life here in UP, to gain more connections, and to really add another flavor sa life ko here in UP. Siguro a few things, or one thing that I feel like people without orgs don't know about being an org is, it's a different kind of fulfillment than just doing good in your academics, doing good in your grades. You get a lot of experience that you don't necessarily get inside of a learning environment, a traditional learning environment like a classroom. So, ayun.
Bakit hindi ka sumali sa mga orgs? Anong hindi alam ng mga estudyanteng may orgs tungkol sa pagiging orgless dito sa UP?
Pinili ko po na maging orgless this first year since gusto ko po munang kilalanin ang UP culture and mag-adjust muna bago ako mag-commit sa isang organization na alam kong kailangan mo ng maraming time. And anong hindi alam ng mga may org sa isang taong katulad ko na orgless is pwede akong maglaan ng maraming time sa iba't ibang mga bagay tulad ng mga ibang hobbies na hindi nila magawa kasi nga po nag-exert sila ng time dun sa org na pinili nila.
Gusto ko mag-focus sa ACADS muna and I feel like hindi ko kayang mag-commit sa time na kailangan ibigay sa org. So parang ayokong maging sagabal lang sa mga org na hindi ako uma-attend. So ayun, it gives me more time para sa sarili ko and sa pag-aaral ko. And doon naman sa kung ano hindi alam ng mga may org. Siguro iniisip ng iba na kapag orgless ka is hindi ka na active or wala ka ng ibang ginagawa. So for me, meron pa rin naman akong ibang ginagawa outside. Like, kunwari, active ako sa simbahan.
Iba-iba talaga ang kwento ng college life ng mga estudyante dito sa UP. Merong mga BS org o sobrang active sa org life. Meron din namang mga isa lang ang sinalihan. At syempre, meron din mga estudyante na hindi miyembro ng kahit anong organisasyon. Kung isa ka man sa kanila, laging tatandaan na hindi nasusukat sa org na sinalihan ang pagiging scholar ng bayan dahil yan ay nasa utak at puso. Muli, ito ang Share Mo Yan. Back to the studio. Ayan. What did you guys think of the video?
Fun! Totoo naman yung mga sinabi nila.
Yeah.
Okay. So, iba-iba nga talaga ang pananaw at karanasan ng iba't ibang estudyante tungkol sa org culture. Mainam na narinig na natin ngayon ang pulso ng mga BS org at lalong-lalo na ang mga orgless. Dumako naman tayo ngayon sa isang mas profesional na pananaw ukol sa diskursong ito. Nakapanayam namin ang isang psychologist na maaaring magbigay linaw sa atin tungkol sa org culture, hindi lamang dito sa UP, but the culture of joining organizations and communities in general, at kung bakit nga ba marami ang BS org o kung bakit may iba namang mas pinili na lang maging orgless. Narito si Dr. Summer Parcon, isang associate professor at the University of the Philippines, Diliman Department of Psychology. She pursued a doctorate in developmental psychology with a minor in clinical psychology in UP Diliman. Her research interests include child rearing practices, socio-emotional development, and pro-social behaviors, among others. So welcome po to the program, Dr. Summer, para sa ating segment na Ask Doc.
Ask Doc. Ano ang mga benefits ng pagsali sa org?
So there are a lot of proven benefits of joining an organization, but the foremost of it is the sense of belongingness. Because when you join an org, you belong to a particular group. For some reason, you join it because there are shared interests or may kakilala ka na doon. So basically, parang it's your entry point to belong to a particular group or an organization. And once you enter an organization, nandyan na yung ready na social support, ready na group that will help you in different aspects. So pwedeng cognitively, for example, in terms of helping you in your academic life, emotionally, pwede rin, physically, pwede rin, economically, pwede rin siguro, financially, no? So there are different social support in different levels. Plus, it's also an opportunity for you to develop positive relationships with other people. So nandyan yung, kasi you're part of an organization already. So in the process, nade-develop mo yung mga sinatawag nating soft skills. Lagi rin nilang sinasabi, if you're part of a student organization, that's also a way for you to build networks. Whether that be professional networks or networks in terms of other interest or passion. So, marami akong sinabi, but in all of these process, you get to learn more about yourself. Diba? So when you join an organization, you get to know more about other people. At the same time, you get to know more about yourself while in the organization.
Ask Doc. Ano ang mga posibleng challenges ng pagsali sa org?
Siyempre, when you join an organization, it's a commitment. You need to be able to balance your time because you join an organization, so you need to be able to allot time for these organizations. One is yung time constraints, time pressure, yung mga ganyan. So parang, kasi you need to do certain things together, certain responsibilities, mga ganyan. Second, it really depends on the organization itself. So like what I've said, it's an joining an organization is a commitment. So if you join an organization that doesn't share your values in life, you might be pressured into doing things that you're not comfortable doing. So, mas mataas yung pressure kapag nasa organization ka. Pero again, nasa sa'yo yun as the one who joined an organization. Kung paano mo siya i-handle at kung paano mo hahayaan na yung student organization na yun would get or would pull you back, kumbaga, in your decisions in life.
Doc, essential ba para sa student life ng mga kabataan ang pagsali sa mga organisasyon?
Siguro yes and no. Yes, because it's a venue for you to meet people, to have that sense of community, especially if you're going through hard and difficult challenges in life. Sabi nga nila, di ba, no man is an island. Having a community would be helpful for you to be able to figure things out in life. Ganyan. But also, I would say no. Also, especially if the organization is not sharing your values, it's not helping you grow personally and professionally. So, we've heard a lot of experiences also, di ba, na parang yung organizations nagiging grounds siya, for example, of bullying, di ba? Or yung ibang tao na pe-pressure gumawa ng mga bagay na ayaw nilang gawin. So pag ganon, parang hindi mo kailangang maging part ng isang student organization para lang i-prove mo yung sarili mo. What I'm saying here is, it's yes because community is very important, but it's also no because student organizations are not the only community that you can have. Joining a student organization or any organization for that matter is a huge commitment. So before one joins an organization, one has to search about it, know more about the organization. Hindi ka lang basta-basta mag-join, di ba? You have to ask yourself if this organization will help me grow personally or would help me grow professionally. Is this organization share the same passion that I have in life, or does this organization share the same values that I have? Kasi if not, better not join the organization because it would pull you down definitely. But if these organizations are sharing the same values, passion, purpose, then I think the organization will be able to help you in your journey.
Doc.
Thank you po sa pag-unlock sa aming invitation para ma-interview, Doc Summer. So may bago na naman tayong natutunan today, 'di ba? You learn something new nga every day, sabi nila. Pero ngayon, para mas mapalalim pa natin ang discourse tungkol sa very professional and very insightful interview na pina-unlock ni Doc Summer, ano kaya ang masasabi nyo sa mga nabanggit niya? At sumasang-ayon ba kayo o parang napapansin nyo rin ba sa sarili nyo yung mga shinare niya? So, simulan natin kay Danny.
I think one thing talaga that caught my attention is yung experience and connection of joining an org, because you'll meet new people, you'll get to know different types of personalities, different types of attitudes, so I think that's the thing I got.
Ako naman, siguro gusto ko lang i-reiterate at agreehan yung sinabi niya na kailangan nag-a-align sa principles mo as a person, yung principles ng org na sasalihan mo if ever. Kasi nga, papasok tayo ng universidad, matanda na tayo pero at the same time bata pa tayo. At may maraming tao na pumapasok, maraming estudyante na pumapasok ng universidad, hinahanap pa yung sarili nila. At napaka-malleable pa kumbaga ng ating pagkatao no pagpasok natin sa universidad. Kaya magiging madali no para sa mga organisasyon na kunin ka kumbaga at hatakin ka sa kung ano yung mga ginagawa nila. But I think one thing that students should always keep in mind is you can walk away. Once it stops serving you, once it doesn't benefit you anymore, or once you feel like it's not good for you anymore, you need to walk away from it. Kasi hindi natin kailangang magstay or hindi natin kailangang kumbaga ma-stuck sa isang sitwasyon na hindi naman natin gusto. Kaya again, everyone has a choice. Some people choose to be in different organizations for many different reasons and some people don't. It's okay. Basta kailangan hanapin natin kung ano yung nakakabuti para sa atin.
It's important, I think, to tell, lalo na yung mga estudyanteng nanonood, na yung pag-alis sa isang org, it doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you... Di ba, ang daming mga chika-chika tungkol dyan sa mga ganyan na, ay, si inactive na, kasi, inactive na daw siya. Ako din naman, dami akong ginagawa.
Parang hindi niya kaya yan.
Diba? Parang, we shouldn't allow that sort of discourse to really have a place, not only in organizations, but in UP in general. It's not a sign of weakness naman talaga to kind of walk away from things that no longer benefit you, diba?
And I think it shows also how certain cultures have to change, and I think the fact that the organizational culture in the university is changing, is going through shifts. I think it's one way for us to also make necessary changes in workplaces also. So parang now that this is a next generation of employees, the next generation of employers, the next generation of people who will be working with different other people, I think it's important for us to have a more nurturing approach to growth. Kasi siguro in the times before us, it was really talagang dinidrill ka, ginigisa ka, di ba, pinapahirapan ka. But I think natututo na tayo ngayon that there is growth in nurturing, there is growth in kindness, there is growth in gentleness even. And so, kailangan nating i-embrace yung mga pagbabago na yun. Of course, this is not to say that strictness or being tough or being firm is not important, but I think natututunan lang natin ngayon that there are better approaches to things than yung mga bagay na nakasanayan natin.
How about you, Danny? Anything else you want to share?
She said everything. Very well said. So.
Thank you.
So, maraming salamat sa ating mga panauhin. Sina Danny Soriano, isang incoming 4th year BA Philo student mula sa CSSP, at si Mix Shine Rapanot, isang guro mula sa UPCMC Department of Comres or Communication Research. I really enjoyed the discussion we had today. Naging makabuluhan ang ating pag-uusap dahil sa inyong pagpapaunlak at pagbabahagi ng inyong mga karanasan dito sa UP Atin to. I actually learned so much, and I'm pretty sure that our viewers and listeners also learned so much as well. And for sure, same na rin talaga sa kung sino man pa ang makakapanood nito, regardless of maybe in a couple of months from when this airs, or even, years after. It's super, super applicable to any phase in life that we may have. Hindi lang sa orgs, but even when we enter the workspace and making friends and everything. Uli, thank you so much. Baka may mga huling pasabi lang din po kayo sa ating mga kasali ngayong araw.
Be yourself. Know yourself, know your needs, and know your wants. That way you will be able to really navigate through a space where there's so many forces pushing and pulling on different sides. So, kung kilala natin yung sarili natin, mas matututunan natin kung paano gumawa ng mga desisyon, no? Kung saan tayo sasali, saan tayo sasama, at mga ganong bagay. Kaya naman, okay lang yan. One day at a time tayo.
Guys, don't worry about anything, okay? Literally, just be yourself, respect your choice, respect your values. That's all I have to say.
Nice.
Sumain niyo po ang isa na namang edisyon ng UP Atin to. Sana'y mas bumukas ang ating isipan sa mga naririnig at natututunan nating kwentong buhay estudyante dito sa UP Diliman. Para sa mas marami pang diskusyon sa loob at labas ng oblation, makinig sa DZUP 1602 sa inyong mga radyo, bisitahin ang aming website dzup.org, i-like ang DZUP FB page at mag-subscribe sa DZUP YouTube channel. Huwag din pong magpahuli sa mga balita, follow us on facebook.com/dzupbalita at present din po kami sa Twitter at sa Instagram. Ang episode na ito ay buong utak at puso naming inihanda ni Ira Ancheta, Carla Concepcion, MJ Karaan at inyong host ngayong araw na si Cheska Escalada. Muli, ito ang Hayahay. Hayahay o Hays, Buhay Orgles sa Kolehiyo ng UP Atin to. Sa DZUP 1602, kasali ka!
Kwentuhang may utak.
Kwentuhang may puso.
UP Atin to. Lunes hanggang Biyernes sa DZUP 1602, kasali ka.